I'm Lauren Teresa, and I wanted to talk today about the things that I used to buy that sort of blow my mind and that I would definitely not buy again as a frugal person who realized she had enough and could semi retire early. And the way that I used to spend when we were in the keeping up with the Joneses period of time in my life, when I was still in my shopping addiction era versus now. And when I'm in my quiet, slow life, nervous system regulation, realizing that things will not buy happiness phase of life, I am grateful to have shifted away. There are some things that I still believe are worth the money, but I'm also not sure if I would buy them again, but I am glad I bought them at one time. There are certain things that I would save up for to purchase that I do think are a good return on your investment, even if it doesn't make you money or it's not really adding to your life in the long run, but maybe in the short run. There are things that I would do. Not everyone's going to agree with me on these. You are potentially more natural and holistic than I am. I have been all of the things. I have been super crunchy plant-based person. I have been bougie, crunchy plant-based person. I have been omnivore, not bougie, omnivore, bougie. I have been a shopaholic. I have been a spendthrift. I have thrown caution to the Amazon winds multiple times in my life. I started reading Your Money or Your Life back in 2008. I reread it about 4 years ago. Since reading the book, Your Money or Your Life, and then a few years later, the FIRE movement coming into mainstream, I have really been interested in retiring early. I had never not wanted to do that, even when I was spending way too much money. I think when I calculated it recently, it was somewhere in the neighborhood of about $500,000, $500,000 that I have just simply thrown away. And though that stings a little bit, I probably wouldn't change the trajectory or really any of it. I am a divorcee, so that definitely is a part of my story and how things have changed financially. I don't dive too far into that on social media or on this forum, however you want to view YouTube. I just say this, that it is important for your partnership to be on the same page financially. And I think we did that well. We had a goal. And when we met, I talked about financial independence, retire early, and he was on board, and I was in charge of managing our investment portfolio. And then we ended up selling all of that off during the divorce process. And I'm so sad that I did that, but it was a very pressure-filled time, and I am rebuilding my portfolio, and I do have real estate and a business buyout. So that's how I managed to become semi-retired early is I did work very hard for approximately 11 years, but we were focused towards this goal of building a business and then automating that business to somewhat run itself and to then be somewhat retired early. That plan did not change when I separated, got divorced. Things that I used to buy that I would not buy again, that I regret, and were very expensive mistakes. Expensive skincare products. I can tell you I have been influenced time and time and time again, whether it is getting a facial at a spa and them recommending products and me being like, well, I've already spent $150. What's another 150? The I deserve it mentality, keeping up with the Joneses and wanting to retain my youth, right? I'm 43 and I have and still do placed a large emphasis on beauty being a currency. right? I don't want it to be that way. I don't want to have internalized misogyny. I don't want aesthetic beauty to be the thing that rules my life. But I will say, I do believe there is a business and monetary advantage to a degree. Agree or disagree with me. I believe in character. I was not a beautiful youngster. I would say I felt beautiful really, truly for the first time, probably in my 30s. There are really expensive products that I bought that were upwards of 100. I once bought a face cream for $500. My partner and I laugh about that. It was when we first started dating. What was I smoking? I use very inexpensive, all natural products now. I have yet to have an expensive face cream make a notable difference in my skin. What makes the most difference that I would spend money on again is beautiful quality food. Hydration is an inside job. Keeping fresh fruits, veggies, greens, an abundance of antioxidants and nutrients from the inside out is the best skincare there is. I do not think expensive products make all kinds of claims. I've seen the before and after photos in med spas and fell prey to the marketing. I had done it. I would not do it again. I have vowed to never do it. Even if I do go in for a facial, if I do go in for a procedure, I'm saying no to the medical grade skincare. Just for me, it does not work. I have very sensitive skin. I have rosacea. So when I use products with retinol, retinoids, even plant-based ones, I'm very sensitive to it. I live in an extremely sunny place on Hawaii, and it's just not for me. I'm starting with the negative so that hopefully we can end on a high note. It does hurt the lost money in that category. I got a laser treatment for my neck that was supposed to tighten it. It was without needles, it was just heat based. It was like $2,500. I have done treatments that I did see minimal improvements. I've done Botox. I've done Radiesse on my, I've done Halo and Cool Peel one time on my face. I liked the Halo laser. I felt like the Cool Peel made me shiny, and I didn't actually enjoy that. It was the less steep kind, also extremely painful. Skincare stuff, I do microneedling. I would pay for almost all of those things again. Sometimes the experience is worth it. I still think that if I ate better, I wouldn't have to pay for those things. If I ate a cleaner, healthier diet, I would eliminate the need for almost all of those things. If I could get out of the loop of needing to look a certain way in the mirror as a 43-year-old, I would eliminate so much payments to these companies that help us to feel useful again. I once heard a quote that said, "You can look old or you can look weird." Uh, I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle. I really think I'm rounding the corner of wanting to just look old instead of looking weird. I've had lip filler done. I've had Sculptra. I've had a little bit of cheek filler, which is almost nothing. I don't recommend getting cheek filler. Sculptra was fine, but it did leave a lot of bruises. I bruise easily. I'm a bleeder. So if you're open to the downtime of those things, go for it. I might lose for this because I have a frugal channel and I spend quite a bit on this area of my life. Take what you want and leave the rest is my recommendation. I can tell you there's probably a lot of people on the internet who do these things, who don't talk about these things openly, whether they're the crunchiest crunchy or the most aesthetic and very open and embracing all of the chemicals. When I've asked people in real life, how do you look so amazing at your age? almost 9 times out of 10, they're doing all the things. Expensive hair appointments. I have my hair up right now because I live in Hawaii. I took a shower in the middle of the day. It will literally take 5 hours for my hair to dry for a video, so I can put it up. But I paid $500 for partial highlights, and I had to tip. I, I chose to tip on top of that because if I'm going to get a service, I'm going to tip. It ruined my hair. I'm not going to bleach my hair unless it's by the sun anymore. I don't think blonde hair looks good on me. I think my natural color is beautiful. I cannot believe I spent that much money on my hair. And I've done this multiple times since I was 13 years old. I've been getting highlights, and my hair doesn't grow past the middle of my back. And that's because it's fried. And the time has come for me to let go of that. Expensive cars. So I have changed out my car about 5 times in the last 5 years. I had to sell my car in order to pay for my lawyer because my ex-partner moved all our money to bank accounts with Billy's name on them. Some of it was out of want and desire, and because I thought that buying some $30,000 thing was going to fix what was going on inside of me, it did not. I sold that car, lost money on it, bought a car with cash. I drive a Prius B now. It is not shiny or flashy, and it is so cheap. I filled it up yesterday for $45 at Costco. Thank you, Prius B. I love you so much. And maintenance is fairly low. I did have to replace the hybrid battery on it. I will have this thing forever. Buy a Corolla. Just buy a Camry or a Corolla, an old one. If you really want some storage, get some racks on it. Honestly, a Prius, okay, but you are going to have to probably change the hybrid battery. It is expensive. I love a hybrid. I like the feeling of driving it. But the reality is that having a non-hybrid, if you can get a car, you can get a Camry or a Corolla on this island or a Honda Fit for about $5,000. And that car will last you 10 years. Even if you get an O2, find one that an older person may have been driving. There are so many immaculate 2002 to 2011 Camrys out there. I saw a beautiful gold 2004 Camry this morning, an XLE with the sunroof and the leather, and I was like, look at that thing. Beautiful, gorgeous. Things I would not buy again, expensive cars. Even the car I have a 2015 Prius V, and I bought it to save money. It is fairly cheap on insurance and repairs. It's very cheap to drive. It fits all of my stuff and the kids. I like it for that reason. What things I would not buy? Random groceries all the time. I did not cook from home. I didn't batch cook on the weekends. About 6, 7 months ago, when I got back on the minimalism and frugality train, I took a look at my Amazon spending and my grocery bill, and I was spending $1,100 a month to $1,500 a month on groceries. I have gotten my groceries down to anywhere between $600 and $700 a month. This month it'll be a little bit more because the last Costco run that I did, I got some yearly stuff. So I got my yearly supply of dish soap, my yearly supply of dishwasher detergent, and my yearly supply of laundry detergent. I also bought a 6 month supply of cat food. So that was on this month. So it'll be about $850 this month. Luxury hotels. I used to like to treat myself when I would go home to visit my family. And the last trip I went on, I found an Airbnb on the river about an hour from my family's home, but it was in between my parents' house and this volleyball place I wanted to go to. And it was so cheap, and I got an entire cabin to myself on the river. My family came over for several dinners. We had a couple of family meals there, and it was really fun. It was so cheap, and I would definitely do Airbnb again. I have an Airbnb, so I can't hate on it. And I used to treat myself to a luxury hotel when I would go home. Usually put it on credit card. $600 to $800 for a few nights. That's insane. I'm staying in the budget inn from here on out. Probably not the budget inn. A really awesome studio apartment if I'm staying by myself, or even if it's just me and the kids. If it's the whole family, The trip that we're taking to Texas at the end of this summer, we are staying at my aunt and uncle's ranch. And of course, I will give them some money for staying at their place and using resources of theirs. And then we are going to be staying in an Airbnb in a very small town near Schlitterbahn. So if you've ever gone to Schlitterbahn, it's going to be awesome. But we're not staying at Schlitterbahn because that's too expensive. But I am definitely a budget traveler these days. I will probably be getting a Turo car. The last time I was in town, that same trip where I stayed on the river, I got rented a 2010 hybrid Lexus, and it had over 200,000 miles on it. The thing drove like a dream. Go Toyota. Old Toyotas. That's what I'm saying. Toyota for life. My parents also drove Hondas when I was younger, and I drove my parents' Accords here and there, and my mom had a Civic for a little bit. But I just always felt like the Toyotas were more comfortable. I didn't like the Honda seats. Don't shoot me, Honda people. Things I would buy again. I already talked about the lasers and the injectables that I would buy again from a med spa. It's your body, it's your life. I got a tummy tuck after my second child, and I had a hernia that did get repaired. There was still separation above and below where they stitch up the hernia at my belly button. And wearing a pair of jeans when my intestines would fill up with food after eating for a long day, if I had a pair of jeans with a button, the physical discomfort I was in, and not something that's talked about a lot because I know a tummy tuck is technically elective surgery, but it was a quality of life issue. And when that surgeon stitched everything back together where it was supposed to be, the digestion relief that I experienced was worth every penny. When your gut is not hanging out all the time, your bowels are where they're supposed to be, your body can function normally. Like at the gym, when you hold on to that one chair without a bottom and try to lift your legs up, I couldn't do that because everything wasn't working together. Having a body that works again, worth every penny. Tummy tuck after children, if you had complications, 100% would recommend. Thank you to that surgeon. I also had complications after that surgery, so it doesn't look great. It looks like I had a C-section. I have a big old scar where some of the skin died. Anyway, I won't get into the details. Still worth it. Still would do it again. Every month, I get 1 to 2 massages at the massage school. I usually pick a female intern that's just more comfortable with a woman. I treat myself to 1 hour, and it keeps my body in good working condition. I play a lot of volleyball with people. And also for me, it's like connection. And maybe, please don't come for me, my parents. I love you both. But I didn't get a lot of physical affection as a child. And I think there's something really healing about massage and touch in this world, non-sexual, that we are missing. And I think though I have a loving partner in my life and my kids, just having that focused attention on me is very grounding and healing. And usually people who are in that profession are very healing people. So it's just a wonderful meditative experience for me. And I always leave feeling so happy and grounded. And it is such a lovely experience. When I do go on vacation, I often will get one at the spa for full price and throw on a little extra. I'm not against living it up in certain places and at certain times in your life. If you're paying cash and you have the money, you have a fully funded emergency fund and you don't have any consumer debt, maybe a mortgage. Quality clothing. Clothing is such a sensitive topic because I challenged myself to a low buy this year and broke it buying expensive exercise clothing. And though some of those things were on sale, I justified it by saying they were high quality. I regret those purchases. I spent money I didn't have. I did buy quality clothing. However, when I left Nordstrom, I got on Poshmark to find the exact same things that I had just bought and realized I could have saved 50% of what I spent by just simply trying something on, knowing that I like it, finding it on Poshmark or on a used clothing website and purchasing it that way. A lot of the ones that I saw on Poshmark had been worn maybe one time and the person just didn't like it. And I know it fits my body. There's nothing wrong with having quality clothing and paying for it. There's nothing wrong with having quality clothing and paying for it full price if you're in a financial position to do so. Part of my honest truth on my frugal journey right now is that I'm paying for a mortgage in Florida and paying for bills here in Hawaii, and my fourplex in Florida is still not rented out. We do have some interest, and Airbnb, it's really slow. April, May, June will start to pick up a little bit, but we're in a tight season, and I'm trying really hard not to dip into that emergency fund, which I had to do because of those clothing purchases. I'm being honest because I believe in honesty and transparency on the internet. I want other people to learn from my mistakes or know that if you made mistakes on your low buy, it's okay to jump back on. I did an energy audit on my electric bill, which I've been avoiding looking at, but we use about 13 kilowatts per day. And though that's low average for Oahu, I want to continue to improve. I work from home. I use a lot of electronics for that. And so it's okay. I have set the dishwasher and the dryer to eco settings. I adjusted the fridge settings. I did make a purchase for a convection oven air fryer because I cook every day and bake every day. And I will cut down my electricity on using the stove. I think it cuts down 2/3 of the energy usage. I use my Instant Pot all the time, which also is an energy saver. It all adds up. All the little things add up. Could I have bought something on Facebook Marketplace instead of finding a deal on Amazon? Yes. But I will say, I went to the thrift store and I found a toaster oven, convection oven for $14. I was at the checkout today, and the woman at the checkout, she said, "Did you test it to see if it works?" And I said, "Oh, no, I didn't." And she goes, "Well, let me hold your stuff. Go test it. Go to test it. It's broken. It does not work." I don't do super great, meaning with strangers on Facebook Marketplace. I am a single woman. And though I have had positive experiences on Facebook Marketplace, I just wanted to get something new. I found one on sale. It was a current deal. I ran all of the numbers through ChatGPT on the most efficient air fryer electric oven, and I found one that will work for my family. That's a big enough capacity. It's a 21 liter size. There was a 12-liter size that was really, really beautiful, but was just not going to work for my family. I would be using it way too much for it to be very efficient. So I guess things I would buy again, some things are worth buying new. Yeah. I make all of these videos because I know what it's like to feel insecure in your financial journey. During separation, which was 3.5 years, and in my inevitable divorce, there were times where the bottom was falling out, the other shoe was dropping, the income from my business was being moved around. Thankfully, people came to their senses and it all ended up working out. I ended up taking out 8 lines of credit to fund the renovation for the fourplex that I ended up receiving. The insurance company wasn't going to insure it if a bunch of work wasn't done, and I didn't negotiate for those repairs. So I was stuck with a building that I couldn't insure, and my insurance was transferring. Anyway, it had to be done. It was a very scary time. And because I looked over leveraged on paper, nobody would give me a business loan. For those of you who have been in survival mode, and I'm going to try not to cry, for those of you who have been in survival mode and know what it feels like, I'm with you. I'm here for you. I'm making these because I want other people to be successful. I want us to get through difficult times together. I also want to say that I'm into simple living and slow living because I didn't even realize I was in survival mode, but I would be snapping at my kids or watching too much social media, and I could feel my life passing me by. I wanted to start this YouTube channel. I wanted to wake up in a peaceful house, and I just didn't know how. I felt trapped in a life that I didn't understand how I got there. And someday I would love to build up my real estate portfolio and go back to maybe consulting work or social work or doing something a little bit grander of a scale. I think YouTube's fine. Maybe I don't have those ambitions anymore. Maybe that time has come and gone, and that's also okay. I made a video about being unapologetically unambitious. And it's not that I'm not ambitious. I just don't think ambition should come at the cost of inner peace or of physical environmental peace. Just driving in traffic to take my kids to school and seeing all the people who are very stressed driving around me, that this modern world is going to make us feel anxious and unsettled, and that we're going to need regulation. And some of us just live forever in that state of hypervigilance. And I'm just now starting to feel myself come out of that place. And I'm still a little bit in it because of this fourplex situation. I know why I went and spent way too much money on clothing. I was deeply uncomfortable. I was going to go play volleyball with 20 somethings and thong bikinis on the beach. And I just needed a new bathing suit and some new workout stuff. But if I look at my spending and why I'm doing it, it's because I'm trying to regulate in a world that is very stressful. Throw the economic times into the mix. And I think what frugality and minimalism have really given to me is just a sense of calm and a daily sense of like, I'm just weeding out what's really important and what's really unimportant. Cooking at home and providing healthy food for my family is important. And getting all the laundry done is important. Staying in a fancy hotel is not. Having the experience and going to Texas to visit my family is important, but the lodging and the meals, less important. Definitely not the rental car. I hope you are incorporating more calm and peace into your life. I know there is some fear associated with some frugal living tactics or tips, right? Like a lot of it could be construed as from a place of scarcity. But I don't look at it that way. Like Morgan Housel talks about like paying your future self, like a penny saved really is a penny earned. Like not spending that money helps me feel like I'm giving to my future self, my future family, and providing a life for us that is abundant in presence and time and a lot less noise. When my kids come to my house, they know that we are going to probably be at homes, that we're going to be cooking together. We're going to be going to the pool. We're going to be going to the beach. We're not going to go to the kids' play places. We're not going to be going to Target. We're not going to be going to the grocery store all that much. We're going to be here together and hopefully having good connected time. So this is a long video at this point. I'm going to edit this down. Thank you so much for being here. Many blessings on your frugal journey.